So, how did you feel about the team over the game? Well, during the game, it was quite simple. I think we started very well. We started aggressively. We put pressure on the opponent, and so after the first try, things became easier. So we tried to get back to basics. So, so we'll carry on working on these details over the game. So yes, Nicolas Sanchez beats the points record for the Pumas, and you also brought on Isgro, who managed to score his first points. So, how did you manage this group, depending in terms of the changes, and in order to improve your selection from one game to the next? Well, bringing on the new players wasn't difficult for me because the two players we're talking about were quite ready to contribute to the terms game. Uh, and in terms of changing positions, whether it's Santiago Carreras or his teammate, I think both of them were very clear about the role they needed to play for the team. Now, as well as Currie and Nicolas Sanchez, I think every single team player has been at the team service and has played the role they needed to. So I don't think it's a question of Nicola's performance alone today. It is the performance of the players as a group, and they all did good work. Nicola contributed with his experience towards this team effort. It doesn't matter whether a player started the game or came on to the field later. I think all of the players were happy to be able to play for the Pumas. And I do believe that we were able to improve our game by improving our system over the course of the game. But from one game to the next, I think our team has grown. And in terms of the results, there is a rotation of the players going on, and we can really see that every player has something to bring if they come onto the field. So here, yes, I'm satisfied with our level. We're expecting a harder opponent against Japan, but I'm satisfied because we uh, we were able to apply our game plan, and that's what we really needed to do. Uh, Another question from Michael. During the team announcement, you were asked whether you felt the team was playing well. Uh, well, so your goal at the time you said was Chile. So you've played that game, and the next game is now almost a final for you. You've talked about three finals. So how will you approach the next game? So, a question for you: your parents arrived here recently, so is it extra motivation for you to play in front of your team? Have come, your family have come to see you watch, to see you play. Well, every week we start from scratch. Each time we ask ourselves what is the best team to line up from one week to the next. So there, yes, we can always change things. A World Cup is not a tournament like any other. The levels of preparation and training need to be sufficient to put the team at the right level. So, for example, if you look at De La Fuente, you can see that his work enabled him to play as a team player. And with today's game, the whole of our group now had a chance to play. We can see that a large number of our players have played their first game in the World Cup. So, looking forward to our next game against Japan. Japan will be trying to qualify for the quarterfinals, but so will we. We're hungry. We want to win. This brings us no guarantees. We need to prepare for this in order to be at the level we need to be for this game against Japan. Now, in terms of having my family here, well, yes, it's another source of satisfaction that my parents are here, and my brothers stayed in Rosario, back in the country. In terms of the pressure, some people who know my father know that he's put more pressure on me than any member of the Puma staff, but they're also here to support me. So I'm very proud that my family has come, and it's thanks to their support that I'm here today. They're a great source of motivation for me to carry on playing for the Pumas. So I'm very happy they're here. A question for Michael. Beyond the role that Nicolas Sanchez played today, well, talking about Nicolas Sanchez uh, as his coach, he's a player can be quite unpredictable in a game like today's. But today he was happy to be on the field. He was happy with the game system, with the game plan, playing with. But he's a player who several times over the course of his career has managed to reinvent himself. And this shows his humility. When a player is able to uh, put themselves in question in order to be able to progress. And this is what he did 8 or 10 months ago. He demonstrated this capacity to reinvent himself, and this shows on the field. Nicolas is a great player and a great human being as well. Nicolas is someone who really helps me and continues to help me, and that is part of his greatness. Whether he's a starter or on the bench, he's always there. He always helps the team, and his longevity amongst the Pumas is again something that I uh, salute. We keep on learning from him. He's a model for us all. A final question. A question for Michael. You talked about Nicolas and his personal level. How did you feel about? How do you feel before going onto the field? It's the third World Cup. What does it mean for you? And a question for you, Michael. There's been a lot of talk about the mental aspect and about working with the players to prepare them mentally. So, what can you tell us about the week that's coming up? A very important week. Well, what I felt coming onto the field is difficult to say because there are so many feelings. First of all, satisfaction to be putting the Pumas shirt back on to play in another World Cup and to be given the responsibility and the pride of being the captain of this side. To have the support of my family and all of those who supported me since from Rosario in Argentina. It's very hard to describe the feelings that I have when I put this shirt on because it's a childhood dream, and thanks to God, this is my third World Cup, and I'm living it as my last one. So I'm grateful. We're all grateful, and we're grateful every day to be able to play, to be with the team. Uh, uh, whether uh, beyond whether you're playing or not, the most important thing is to be here with the team, with the group, with the squad, where we feel well amongst ourselves. The happiness to be reunited with the Pumas and to have been able to play as a captain, which was a huge responsibility for me. Yes, the work on the mental aspect is always something that is complicated. What I can tell you is that during the first game, we had to swallow the defeat, and then in the following games, we had a very different state of mind. We managed to win. So when we were able to align all of the different elements, that is what enables us to play our best rugby. And I believe that after those first couple of weeks, we are even better prepared. We have no fears. And I think that if we can learn from the issues we had at the start of the tournament, we can get stronger from it. It's really a question of concentrating on the basics in training and having the right attitude. And I think we're feeling quite good in that respect, actually.